Hello and welcome back. This is Girlhood. Today I'm going to be reading your stories. Last night I bawled, no joke, cried my eyes out because literally for the fact that I'm not 5 years old anymore. And I cry over that a lot, actually. Like, not even being funny, like bawl for at least 30 minutes. And then I'll look at a bunch of my childhood photos and just be like, I'm never going to be 5 again. And that honestly haunts me every day of my life. Anyways, I was also listening to Big Thief. That probably did it. Somehow listening to Big Thief, I don't know if you listen to them, but their music has this childlike wonder to it. I can't even explain it. Anyways, I'm getting into your stories now. So this is from actually my friend Carly. I grew up with her. I would go over to her grandma's house every morning before school and we would carpool together. And she says, watching your episode from today, it reminded me of the time I woke up to my ex full on having intercourse with me while I was asleep while scrolling through my sister's Instagram. What the hell is wrong with men? That is what do you I don't even know. I'm speechless. He needs to be locked up. I'm not kidding. That's jail, actually. And then her sister also sent me a message. She said, I don't know if you remember me. We were childhood best friends, and I remember some whack-ass stories from your attic or lighting the riverbed on fire. If you do a childhood podcast again or something, I have so many stories of us I kind of remember. Yeah, me and Taylor accidentally, okay, so my house was by the riverbed, the Santa Ana riverbed. It's it did have a homeless camp population for about a few years when I was in middle school, and it was literally 2 miles just of all tents, and then I swear they shipped them all to Skid Row, but because they just disappeared one day, and we were like, what? But this one time we went over there, and oh my God, there was actually a couple times I lit the riverbed on fire. The first time I think I was in 3rd grade, and I was hanging out with these girls that were a little bit older. They were in 5th grade or maybe 4th grade, but they were when you're in elementary school, each grade really matters. And we would light little piles of pine needles. I don't know why we were obsessed with lighting fires, but we would light these little piles of pine needles on fire. Just there's so many pine trees and the dead pine needles. We would usually get a stack of pine needles about this big. And then this one day, a girl that didn't live in our neighborhood, but she went to my neighbor's school or whatever, she was hanging out with my neighbor, and she comes over. We go to the riverbed, and there's this old leather couch just against the wall that separates the riverbed from my neighborhood. And there's big pine trees on my neighborhood side of the wall, but it hangs over to the other side of the wall. And she gets we go out there to light a little fire, right? She gets a huge stack of pine needles this big, and puts it on the couch. And I was like, I think that is too big of a stack of pine needles. And for some reason, we thought that we could put a fire on a leather couch because it's not fuzzy material, and that just for kid logic, I don't know, made sense. Oh, it's not fuzzy, so it's not going to catch on fire. And so I was like, I don't know, I think this stack is a little too big. And she goes, respect your elders. And I was like, oh, and that silenced me. So we start lighting it on fire, and our method to putting out the fire was just whacking it with these big planks of wood that we found on the ground. I know. And so it starts lighting. I'm like, okay, let's put it out. She's like, no, let it burn. And I was like, right, okay. And so we start letting it burn. The fire is getting really big now because the stack of pine needles is this big, so the flame's this high. And I was getting a little bit nervous. And then once it starts burning really big, we're okay, let's try putting it out. So we're whacking it with these planks of wood. It's not working. Mind you, since there are pine trees all along the other side of this wall, there's dead pine needles all over the ground, everywhere. Okay, so many dead pine needles. And So we're whacking it. It's not working. I had a like half empty bottle of water. And so I pour my little bit of water on it. It doesn't do anything, but the fire is like almost out. Like it's like the flames are getting a lot lower. So I was like, okay, we almost got it. And then my other neighbor, she's like, move out of the way. I'm flipping the couch over. And I was like, no, 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 I almost got it. And I'm like whacking it. And she's like, move. And so she flips the couch over and we all book it. They run in that direction. I run in this direction. And I remember running and I look back and all I see is the couch upside down go whoosh, up in flames. And I was like, oh my God. And I run, hop the fence, run to my house. And I literally like go and hide under my bed. And my grandma came in my room and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, we're playing hide and go seek. And she was like, oh my God, okay, I won't tell them. And I'm like, okay. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, Keely, come outside. There's a fire. And I was like, what? And I go outside. The entire pine tree is on fire. Like I'm talking a full grown pine tree. I don't know how tall, like in like feet wise, I would estimate at least 50 feet high. Like a huge pine tree is on like in flames. And I was just like, oh my God, that is so crazy. Like, I wonder how that happened. And all the neighbors are outside, like the fire trucks are on their way. And there was like an old man, and I guess his house was like right there where the pine tree was. And so he had a bunch of dead pine needles all over his roof. He's literally standing outside of his house with his hose, soaking the top of his roof so that any embers don't like land on his roof and catch his house on fire. And I remember just being like, oh my God. And we were all terrified. And I was like, I told her it was too many pine needles. But I didn't tell my grandma, obviously. Nobody found out that it was us to this day. They thought that somebody must have just been like smoking a cigarette and like threw the cigarette butt on the ground and it like caught fire because it was like dry midsummer day. Like, that was really scary. And yeah, nobody's house caught on fire though. The fire truck ended up coming in time and putting it out. But then that like brick wall was like completely black and burnt. And yeah, so we literally got away with it. We didn't, that was not the goal though, but one time me and Taylor went to the riverbed and there was like this bridge and the bridge had like, I don't know, it was like the riverbed was all dried up and so there was all these like dry, dead like plants. I don't know. It was just like a bunch of random sticks like stuck to the side of this like bridge wall. The bridge is concrete. And we like lit it on fire. I don't know. And that was like a huge fire on accident too, but it was not nearly as bad as the pine tree. I think that was the last time I ever lit a fire like that in my life because thank God. But yeah, like what the hell were we doing? Why are we lighting fires? I can't wait to have kids. Here's another one saying, hey, I'm just going to get straight to the point because I can't even believe this is real. I started talking to this guy beginning of May and we started dating June 23rd. I was about to hang out with him in a few hours when I had multiple people text me and tell me that he apparently paid for a girl in my grade. He's 1 year older than me. He literally paid for her AI generated nudes. He paid this guy to take pictures of her face and generate boobs and a kitty onto them. Like, are you joking? They sent me proof and screenshots of the text and Venmo, and he bought the pictures June 27th, 4 days after we officially started dating. I confronted him, and he just called me and started crying and called himself disgusting. Then I texted his parents and his sister about what he did. Oh my God, good for you for telling his fucking mom. Like, mothers need to know what their sons are up to. If a guy ever does you dirty, tell his mom. Like, also, that is sick. I hate, like, people my age and older are so thankful we didn't grow up like high school where AI was really a thing because, like, that is so effed up and so scary. Like, oh my God. And that, I feel bad for the girl whose face they used too. Now she has these like AI generated nudes of her going around. Like, that, isn't that illegal? I feel like that's illegal. Like, there's no way. He needs to be expelled. I would honestly contact like the principal too, if you haven't already. Okay. Here's another one So I was dating this girl for about 2 years and we were living together. She never gave me any inclinations that she would ever cheat on me or anything. She would work out of town for a few days at a time, and for whatever reason, I felt nudged to check her social medias. I didn't know the password to any of them, so I tore apart our house looking for her school computer and ended up getting into it. Used her computer password to look at the list of saved passwords. It worked. I found her passwords to all her social media. Typically, you just ask the person if they were cheating, but I felt so strong in this intuitive nudge that I would be lied to if I asked for myself. So I go look and find that she had a several month long relationship with another girl. She would leave our house and FaceTime another girl or go upstairs and FaceTime her and watch movies together. At one point, I helped her pick an outfit for their date together without even knowing that's what I was doing. Anyways, I crashed out big time, told her she was going to come home to an empty house. At one point, I even typed KYS, which is effing horrible. I immediately took it back and felt terrible. I was so mad and hurt, and I ended up calling the girl that she had been cheating with. She lied to me too. It was super rehearsed and they said the same things. I decided to lie to both of them to put them against each other. Good Lord. So I tell my girlfriend that this girl she had cheated with told me they went on a date together. I said it out of nowhere, literally throwing shots in the dark here, and she starts confessing all the shit to me, which I'm like, you're an idiot for that. So then I'm asking her how she feels about this girl, knowing she would talk about her super poorly. I'm asking while she answers all these questions with awful things to say about this girl. I'm sending that girl screenshots of everything my partner is saying. So this girl starts confessing too because she's mad at my partner. So I get the full story, in parentheses, maybe, from both of them and essentially made them hate each other. All for my partner to literally come home to an empty ass house. Bye. Oh my God. And here I thought lesbian relationships were perfect. I really did. After living with my lesbian aunts, because like their relationship is perfect, even though I am not very fond of my aunt's wife because I think she's really condescending. Their relationship, like I never see them argue. They have such great communication, and I literally was convinced like all lesbian relationships are perfect. Also, I think it's funny that you guys lived together because that's like my aunt told me. She was like, no, lesbian relationships, like we literally move in within like 2 weeks. But also that was kind of like me and my boyfriend. But then I ended up moving out. But good for you for actually leaving and like actually getting all your stuff out so fast. Like that's really impressive. Also, I'm glad that they hate each other now because now it's not like you're leaving and they're just going to be together happily ever after. Like, no. Sweet revenge. I love sweet revenge. I love revenge when you like play the long game. Okay. Here's another one saying, to start, I'd like to be anonymous. Okay, so this story takes place at the beginning of 2019, and I was 14. I had met this boy through mutuals on Snapchat. He's super flirty, says all the right things, plays video games with me, etc., etc. He told me firsthand he was 17, and I kind of thought nothing of it. Then we go on a date to the movies. He tells me he's 18, and he hopes that's not a problem. I was dumb and scared, so I said, I don't mind at all. Fast forward a couple weeks, I really like him, and I'm getting a little obsessive because I'm literally 14, and he starts getting distant. A friend of mine a few days later tells me about him in her DMs. She's the same age as me. And he shows me hella nudes that he's sent her and trying to get in her pants. That's where it kind of ended for contact between him and I because I don't play that. I was kind of pissed, so I stopped talking to him, but turns out a month later, he's arrested for SAing a 13-year-old, and it's revealed he's actually 22. So yeah. Additionally, other girls I knew had come forward about all of the nudes he sent to minors. No crash out and no cheating in the story, but girls stay away from predators, please. Oh my God. Please tell me he got convicted of something. Like, oh my Lord. The FBI needs to put him on a watch list. 22 years old, SAing a 13-year-old is just, you're a pedophile. Like, this man is a pedophile. And I'm so, so, so sorry he took advantage of you. Like, that's so scary. That actually happened to me kind of. Like, this guy I dated when I was literally 13 going on 14, and he also said he was 17. And we had been dating for like, I don't even know how long, but like we had already done the deed. And I was like so obsessed with him, so in love with him. And then he takes me to a music festival, and it was like my first music festival ever, obviously, because I'm 14. And once we are like in line to scan our wristbands or whatever, he's like, "Hey, I think it's best that we actually just be friends." And I was like, "What?" And then we get into the music festival, and then he ends up going in the 21 plus section and leaves me by myself. And then it clicked. I was like, "How is he going in the 21 plus section?" And then I was literally by myself, and I like got adopted into this group of girls that were also at the music festival, and they were literally so fun, and their outfits were so cute. They had like little like butterfly headbands and like really cute like rave outfits, and I'm still friends with them to this day. To this day, still friends with them. Like we're mutuals on Instagram. And I ran into one of them in San Francisco, oddly enough. I was like randomly in San Francisco, just like walking down the sidewalk, and then she like taps me. She's like, "Kaylee," and I was like, oh. And then it like brought me back flashbacks from that day. It was literally so horrible. But like, yeah. Also, when you're so young, it's like hard to tell when somebody's lying. I don't know. Yeah, he's a pedophile. All right. So this one is titled Getting a Boy Kicked Out of Dream University as Revenge. I already love where this is going. Let me zoom in. The font is like always so tiny. Hi, Kaylee. Love your podcast and your life story, so I thought I'd send you one of mine I think you'd enjoy. Around 6 months ago, I was visiting one of my friend's universities, and I met this guy at the bar. He was super hot and seemed nice enough, so I decided to go back to his dorm with him. He kicked his roommate out, so it was obvious what was about to happen, but I started to feel really uneasy, which didn't help when he locked the door and put the key in his pant pocket. At this point, I wanted to leave, but felt so awkward to say anything, so I decided I would entertain him for a bit and use the classic "I'm on my period" excuse to get out of what was coming next. So we're kissing, which is fine, when he starts to take my clothes off. I tell him I don't want to because I'm on my period. He continues to take them off, ? He was quite drunk, so I couldn't tell if he wasn't listening or just didn't care. I sat up, tried to tell him again, but he pushed me down and continued to touch me and tried to give me hickeys. Are we 12? Same, I literally hate hickeys, but this is getting really scary. At this point, I start to panic, and I'm thinking about how the key to the door is still in his jeans, so I decide to take his pants off, which he enjoys and thinks means I'm giving him the go-ahead. The whole time, I'm trying to make a plan to get him out the room so I can make a run for it. His pants are now on the floor, and he starts to take his boxers off when I ask him if he could take a shower because we were out all night, and I wanted him to taste/smell acceptable if I was going down there, LOL. He sighed and told me it's fine and he doesn't need to, but eventually he stumbled to the bathroom and I hear the shower go on. First of all, if anybody asks you to shower because you smell, why would you say, "No, it's fine"? You're disgusting. Like, I would literally hop in that shower so fast if a guy ever said that to me. Anyways, so eventually, he stumbled into the bathroom and I hear the shower go on. I knew this was my only chance to get the F out. So I grab my shoes, my skirt, find the key to the door from his pants, quickly put my shirt on, and run to the door. I'm jamming the key into the door, trying to get it open when I see his phone on the counter next to me. I instantly grabbed it and shoved it in my purse, opening the door so loud my heart is beating so fast I thought I was going to pass out for real. Eventually, get the door open and sprint out, dropping one of my shoes on the way and leaving the door wide open. I am sprinting through the university flats in my G-string, inside out shirt and skirt in my hands, probably looking like a strung out hooker. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Anyway, I get my skirt on, ditch my one shoe, RIP, and sit in a hidden corner that's quite a while away from his room. This is the less traumatic part of the story where he got his karma. Not sure if I can call it karma if I made it happen, but that's not important. You know what? Sometimes your name is karma, and sometimes you have to be the karma, and that is okay, and I fully support that, honestly. I take out his phone, and I'm thinking of ways to give this guy payback for being an aggressive creep whilst shaking so hard it looks like I'm being electrocuted. Luckily, he gave me his phone at the bar to put in my number and told me to put in the password 0000 to get in. I should have seen the red flags then, lol. So again, I put in 0000 and I'm in. I went into his university emails and read through them to try and figure out who his teachers are. I see multiple emails between him and this one teacher where she's telling him he's at risk of being kicked off his course for handing in late assignments and having consistent low grades. This is when I get transported back to my 15-year-old self watching Gossip Girl episode where Serena gets set up for trying to sell sex for grades. I write an email to his teacher insinuating that if she changes his grades to A's and B's, he will make it worth it. And telling her his room number so she can visit him after class. Then I go into his camera roll to try and find any other incriminating pictures/videos when I come across hundreds of DICK pics. No lies. They were literally just open in his main camera roll. Oh my God, this guy is horrible. And if you're a guy watching this, which I feel like no guys watch this, but like we don't want to see a picture of your penis ever. So, openly in his camera roll. So I decide to send one of them to this same teacher just to make things even worse for him. At this point, I decide I've done enough damage, so I sneak back to his room. The door is now closed, so I leave his phone outside the door and sprint to the main road. I call an Uber and I got to my hotel safely. I hear nothing for a few days until I'm in my hometown and I get a call from an unsaved number and pick up. It's the same guy and he's screaming down the phone, calling me a useless whore and giving me loads of other lovely compliments. At this point, I know he knows it was me, but I stay quiet in case he's recording the call, so he never gets out of it. He goes on to tell me he had a disciplinary meeting with the dean and his teacher, who have both now seen his mangled DICK and vulgar messages, and has been not only kicked out of his course, but kicked out of his university too. The university had to inform his parents that they were paying the fees, and everywhere else he applies will know about the situation as well. It will go on all of his references. He told me that I've ruined his life and he will find me and unalive me and my whole family. I live genuinely 11 hours away, so I'm not worried. And I just sat on the end of the phone feeling so good. I've never heard from him again, but all I can hope is that he has learned to never attempt to sexually assault a girl ever again. He 100% got what he deserved because I don't want to think about what would have happened if he caught me trying to leave or if I never left at all. Moral of the story is to be careful of who you act like a psychopath to because they may be worse than you. And I will ruin your life just for you ruining my night. Hope you enjoyed Queen Kisses. You are amazing. Like that was amazing. Honestly, kudos to you. Wow. And I wow. I don't even I'm speechless. You have me gagged. Like, what the hell? That is so smart. See, I would have thought of something like, I don't even know. I would have never thought of that. Like to go to one of his female professors and harass her. So smart. Like, how do you even come up with this? Wow. And now his life is ruined. So, But you know what? If he would have stayed at that university, he probably would have done that to a lot of other girls. And you probably saved a lot of other girls from that. So honestly, applause to you. Okay. Here's another girl who says, I love reading these stories. These are so good. Okay. This guy brought me to one of his overnight frat functions, and I was on the fence about him because he was low-key cringe, but we got there and he asked me to meet his mother. So I pretended like I was super hungover to avoid it, and that night I decided not to drink, but he did, and I literally watched him fall down the same flight of stairs 4 different times that night. I don't know how this man wasn't sent to the hospital from how much alcohol he drank. He started slapboxing with this jacked older frat guy and got his shit beat, and I watched all of this go down sober. Ew. I'm glad you got to see him get his ass beat though. But like, guys being cringe while drunk is like a different type, and while you're sober is like a different type of ick. Disgusting. Like, why do they act like that? This one is, I don't know if I should say anybody's names. I'm just not going to say any names. Okay. She says, so I went back and forth with this guy for 3 years, and we were each other's first serious relationship / first love, whatever. I actually have a whole 40-page note about the reasons that I can never go back to him, and I'd have to read that note out loud to someone whenever I thought about going back to literally humiliate myself. Anyways, so I have like 12 cheating stories, but these two are my favorite. First of all, there was this girl, we'll call her Lily, and Lily had been messaging my boyfriend and been really sus with him, and he cheated on me with her twice, but whatever. I thought they were done, so it didn't matter anymore, and me and my boyfriend got back together. Only 3 weeks after this happened did I find out this, but I'd slept at my boyfriend's house, we'll call him Angus. I'd slept there on the Wednesday night, the Thursday night, and the Friday night, and Saturday night, but I'd left during the day to go to school because I'm still in school and he's finished. Later on, I found out that whilst I was at school on the Thursday, he had Lily over at his house, and then he took her virginity in the bed that I'd made that morning with the teddy bear that I'd bought him right next to them, and he didn't change the sheets. I'm pissed off. Oh my Lord. Like, please tell me. I really hope this turns into like you do some really crazy revenge, because the way that man would end up in a ditch, like, no, I'm kidding. I don't condone that, but like, okay. So I'd slept there the night before and the night after, and he didn't change the sheets. Keep in mind, we were very much sexually active. So he and I had sex on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like literally every time we were together. Like, what the F? How do guys have such high sex drives? Like, to be with, you know what I mean? Like, really? This girl was putting out for him every day, and he still needed to go and find more. What the hell? Next story. This one is kind of wild on both their behalves. So Angus and I had been back together for around 3 months at this point, which was genuinely a long time for us because we'd be together for a couple of months, then break up for a week because he did something wrong, then start over. Anyways, aside from the point, in the span of me and Angus's new relationship, I'd become friends with this girl. We'll call her Chelsea. So I felt a really deep bond with Chelsea. She told me everything to do with her family trauma. And she'd been kicked out at this point, so I offered her a place to stay, and we'd just grown to love each other a lot. I really trusted her with my whole heart, but I heard a rumor that her and Angus had sex, and I was confused. So I asked her about it, and she told me she'd never do that to me, and that's ridiculous, and she was low-key mad at me for even suggesting it. Anyways, we went to this party together, and she lost her virginity in this bathroom, and there was blood everywhere, and she made me clean it with her because she was embarrassed, and I comforted her and whatever. Now, me and Angus were doing well at this point, but I had this private TikTok account with only my close girlfriends, and I'd always post TikToks about him. And he screenshotted one of them and started blowing up at me over it. Now I was confused because there were only really close friends. There was maybe 20 followers. Anyways, fast forward, one of Chelsea's other best friends had come to me and told me that Chelsea didn't actually lose her virginity at the party. Instead, she'd been sleeping with my boyfriend consistently over the last 12 weeks. Chelsea, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I don't even understand how you could do this to another girl. I really don't. Like, someone that's your best friend, especially, and like you're just bonding over how close you are and you feel like sisters and you like love each other so much, and you're doing this to her behind her back the entire time. Like, you do girls and boys really think that like no one's gonna find out? Genuinely. Like, do you really think the truth always comes out? Every single time the truth will come out. So just remember that next time you're thinking about doing something sneaky, like Chloe, trying to hang out with my man in Vegas and unfollowing me on Instagram. But that wasn't a best friend. I mean, this is so hurtful because you're losing your boyfriend and you're losing your best friend all at once. And then your trust issues are probably insane after that, because like having trust issues from a guy cheating on you is one thing, and it's a horrible thing and it's really hard to overcome. But then you're like, okay, I still have my girls. Like I can still trust my girls. When it's your best friend, like then you can't even trust girls. Like then you have trust issues in relationships and in friendships. Like I hate her for that. I literally hate her. Like give me her at. Give me her Instagram, please. I need to know who Chelsea is for personal reasons. Anyways. Yeah, over the last 12 weeks, which was literally since me and Angus officially started dating again, but we'd been talking and whatever before that. Then I started realizing that sometimes he'd go to bed early. I was at a football game on a Thursday night and he said goodnight at 8:30, which was odd, but he was starting a new job, so I just quickly called him and told him I loved him, which he reciprocated and told me he misses me and whatever. Turns out she was laying in bed with him as he wrote the message and spoke to me. Chelsea, what the actual hell is wrong with you? Like, oh my God, I hope karma really, really destroys this girl. She knew everything that had happened between Angus and I, as I had told her myself. Fast forward again to a few months later when me and Chelsea saw each other out at the beach one day, and she apologized and I just gave her a hug. She confessed literally everything that happened to me. She'd been scrolling through her following on TikTok and one of my private account videos showed up. So he went through my whole account on her phone and screenshotted them and sent them to his phone. He was also cheating with me with a whole other third girl who had been an issue for ages in our relationship. We met before they met. But when we'd broken up one time, she was like the girl best friend. He also took her virginity. Oh my God. Anyways, when Chelsea and Angus were in bed together, she asked him, which one do you like better out of me and the other girl? And he would always say me because I was his first love. And I was, not to forget, his first girlfriend at the time. LOL. But after he saw my TikToks, he said to her, fuck blank. I choose blank, other girl. He also told Chelsea, I like you because you're different and I don't have to hide shit like I do with Shayla. Like, I've still got 38 pages of stories, so if you need some entertainment, let me know. Girl. Oh my God. That's like honestly one of the craziest cheating stories I've ever heard. Like, also, this is for Chelsea. This is for Rachel. No, but this is for Chelsea. Like, your best friend cried on your shoulder about getting cheated on. And you were there for her and you comforted her and acted like you cared. And then you went and helped her boyfriend cheat on her. Like, you're a psychopath. Genuinely psychopath. You have zero empathy for other people. And you, like, I worry about people like that. Like, genuinely, how could you possibly do that to another girl, let alone your best friend who has cried on your shoulder about being cheated on? Like, that is something, like, this girl needs help. This girl needs to just, no, I almost made a sewer slide joke, but I probably shouldn't. But yeah, that, I'm so sorry to you. Shayla is her name. I'm so sorry, Shayla. That is so hard. And like, genuinely, how do you even heal from something like that? I wouldn't. And also, did you get revenge? Like, I need to, well, obviously you didn't. You hugged her. Like, you're such a sweet girl. You're better than me, Shayla. Because personally, they would both be chained up in a basement. But like, seriously, I mean, you are the bigger person. Big respect to you. Because I know people that would have like literally ruined, like made them crash out so hard that like they would go to jail. Like I would literally plot ahead and like ruin that girl's life. Like get her kicked out of her favorite university type like what that other girl did. No, but seriously, wow. Wow. Okay. This is from another girl. She says I probably shouldn't do this on my email with my real name, so I won't say her name, but please don't say my email to the people. Okay. So basically, I work with this guy. He's actually my manager, and we started talking at like the same time you and Mr. Flaky started talking, which was in January. We honestly have a bigger age gap than you and Mr. Flaky. Long story short, he has a baby mama and she was living in a different country, and he told me she didn't know she was pregnant with his kid until she had the kid, because I'm guessing she had sex with someone else. She recently came to live with him because he wants to have a relationship with this kid who is about to be 2. She's living with him because she doesn't have any family that she can stay with and until she gets on her feet and she can pay bills. We started officially dating like a month before they came, but it was good before they came, and now I'm just always uncomfortable and overthinking because when he's home, he's obviously with his baby mama, which is his ex of 2 years. He says he's the type that once he loses feelings for someone, he'll never get back with them, but it's just so weird because I'm so possessive. I really want to put a secret camera in his apartment. Please do. Oh my God. Did I tell you guys? I said it on live once, but I bought a hidden camera for Mr. Flaky. And there's like this website. There's actually multiple websites, but like if you just type in like hidden nanny cam, like you'll find so many. I got this one that like it looks like a little cube to a charger, like one of these things, and there's like a little camera in it. And like I was fully ready to install it in his room, but he's like really smart, unfortunately, and he knows all about that kind of stuff. And it literally has like a black dot on a white box. Like it's so obvious. So I ended up not doing it, but I also got like a hidden pen, like a literal like ballpoint pen hidden camera. And I was gonna like put it in like a cup on his nightstand or something and just like put it on his nightstand. But then come to find out the pen only has a battery life of like an hour or something like that. Like so stupid. But like the box one just stays plugged in and it has unlimited battery. But yeah, I never ended up using it. It's still in my apartment. But one day. I think the best ones are like the picture frame, there's like an air freshener one. There's one that literally goes like straight into the outlet, like the little hole of like the actual outlet. But that one's a little harder because you have to like hot wire it. It's like dangerous. Like you have to like know what you're doing, like with the electricity stuff, like the wiring. Then there's also the smoke detector one, and there's even just like little teeny tiny cameras that are like this big, and it's just like a black little square like that, like half an inch wide, half an inch tall, and you can just like put it anywhere, like in between like the bookshelf or like whatever. But definitely, like I'm such an advocate for hidden cameras when it's like trying to catch someone cheating. People might think that that's like unethical or whatever, like people deserve privacy, but like I don't know. If you're not using a hidden camera for creepy purposes, I think it's totally valid. Anyways. So she says, yeah, so I want to put a secret camera in his apartment. He said he didn't want to tell her about us before like 2 to 3 months had gone by because he didn't want to make her uncomfortable or for her to get upset. But literally recently she came to him and asked him if she could have sex with another person. And he obviously said he doesn't care and just be careful. So my thing is, why can't he tell her about us? And then I briefly looked through some of their messages, and he said he's proud of her for parking his car well because she forgot how to drive and she's been trying to learn again since she's been here. And she was like, thank you, with the smiley face with the little hearts emoji. He didn't reply and he doesn't know I saw it, but it just makes me so uncomfortable. That would send me into a spiral. That would send me into a spiral. Yeah. So she says it just makes me so uncomfortable. He reassures me and tells me I'm the only one, but it's just so hard to believe. Logically, it wouldn't make sense for him to cheat on me though. From the start, because anything more than friends. He told me he's not a relationship type, and he literally got into a relationship with me knowing his baby mama and daughter was going to come here. And before we got involved with each other, he knew they were coming at some point this year, so he could have just waited for them so he can have a family and a real relationship with this girl. So IDK why he'd go behind my back and do things with her when he can just break up with me. Sometimes I feel I'm just being immature, and maybe I'm too immature for this relationship, but I don't want to be. He's honestly really supportive and kind and loving, but he's a nice person in general. He'll always try and help everyone out, even if it's saying some nice words that would mean a lot to someone else. I just want advice, I guess. Okay. So my thing is, like, he shouldn't be hiding you. I think that's like a deal breaker. You should tell him, like, if he's still hiding you, like, absolutely not. There's a reason he's hiding you, and it can't be a good one. Like, why does he want his baby mama to think he's single? That's a little weird. You know what I mean? Like, what if he's telling her, like, he's not a relationship type, but he still wants to be with her and have sex with her? Like, you never know. And, like, she needs to know that her baby daddy that she lives with has a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, what? Are you just, like, never allowed to go to his house? Like, that's so dumb. And very, very, very sketchy. And I'm not liking it. And also, like, the fact that, like, he's with his baby mama and his kid, and they all live in the house together. And, like, the kid lives with mommy and daddy. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a little weird. Like, I don't know. I just have a really fishy feeling about this one. Obviously, it's, like, really complicated because she has nowhere else to go. She has no family to live with, and, like, he's helping her out. But I don't know. She should know about you. I think that would, like, make you feel a lot better. Because, and also, like, does she have her own room? Did they sleep in the same bed together? Like, what's the situation? Like, I don't know. It just seems really sketch. Very, very, very sus. I don't know how I feel about that. You need to, like, give him an ultimatum and say, like, either you tell her about us or I'm breaking up with you. Cause yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, that was disgusting. Okay. Also, speaking of just, like, these cheating stories and girls not being girls, can we talk about Ice Spice for a second? Because I don't know if you guys watched Cleopatra's Storytime. It's like a 6 or 7 part series, but, like, oh my lord, I already hated Ice Spice after the whole, like, Mads and Central C situation, but I didn't think that Ice Spice was, like, a horrible evil person. I just thought, like, damn, that's disrespectful, but, like, she probably doesn't take it seriously. Um, then I watched Cleopatra's Storytime. Like, if you didn't watch it, I'll just give you, like, a little summary. Basically, Cleopatra was famous before Ice Spice. I literally used to follow her in, like, 2020, and she has been doing music for a really long time. I feel like she started in, like, 2016. She, like, blew up, if I'm correct, but don't quote me on that. But she's, like, so freaking cute. She dresses so Y2K. Like, I just remember following her for her outfits. Like, her outfits would always eat every time. When Ice Spice first popped out and became famous, she was literally wearing, like, Fashion Nova bodysuits and Jordans. And then she became friends with Cleopatra, and she basically, like, adopted Cleopatra's fashion taste, whatever. Like, that's normal. I feel like when you are friends with a new girl, like, you might start dressing like the same, whatever. But, like, Ice Spice fully, like, started dressing like Cleopatra, like, stealing her style, like, to the T. Okay, like, mini skirts, Y2K, like, so cutesy and, like, whatever. But that's not even the problem. That's not the problem. So Ice Spice calls up Cleopatra, and she's like, hey girl, like, do you want to come on tour with me? We're going to this country and this country, and we're going here and there, and, like, I would love for you to come. Like, it's, like, in a couple days. And she's like, oh my god, like, this is really last minute. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I have the funds right now. Like, maybe if you had told me sooner. And she's like, don't worry, girl, I got you. Like, I totally got you. You don't have to worry about anything. Like, you're with me. She's like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I'm so down. So she goes with her, and then the entire trip, Ice Spice, I wish I knew her real name because I hate saying Ice Spice. It, like, does not roll off the tongue. But is being such a B word to Cleo the entire time. Like little things here and there, just like, oh, all of a sudden Cleo doesn't have her own room. Like she was staying in the same hotel rooms as Ice Spice, and then Ice Spice had her boyfriend come. So she's like, hey, like you need to get your own room. And mind you, like her makeup artist has her own room, her hairdresser has her own room. Like everyone has their own room that's being like funded by the budget, but then she can't get a room for Cleo. And she's like, you need to get your own room. And Cleo's just like, what the hell? And little things like they would be getting ready to they would be getting ready to perform on stage, and Cleo would be like, oh, because like she was supposed to be in the same dressing room as Ice Spice, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, sorry, like you can't come in, but you can change in the bathroom. And like if you see her outfits, like it would be hard to just change in a bathroom where like people are coming in and out, like especially to like an artist that's like about to be on stage, like the hell, change in the bathroom, like what? And then she like leaves her purse in Ice Spice's dressing room. Mind you, there's like Ice has like so much shit in her dressing room, and Cleo just leaves like her little tote bag on the couch. And then she goes to like change in the bathroom, and she comes back and her little tote bag is sitting outside the door of Ice's dressing room. Like she really had to like remove the bag, like as if it was like taking up so much space. And then come to find out, somebody like stole her credit card and charged $700 when she didn't have a lot of money. And she didn't even make a big deal out of it. She was like, oh my God, like that sucks, but like whatever. And Ice is just kind of like, girl, like that's what happens when like, you know, this and that, like, sorry, like that's just what happens. Like you should have expected it, like da da da. And she's just like, what the hell? So then they're like in another country at like a different hotel, whatever. I feel like she said she was in Texas for some reason, on the border of Texas and Mexico, and it was like the desert. And there's like nothing around. There's like no food places. Like she said there's not Uber Eats, like nothing. And she was like really hungry. And oh, this is after they all like were ordering food, and the hairstylist, because she ended up being buddy buddies with the hairstylist, because the hairstylist let her stay in her room the entire time, which like the budget was paying for. So she became like really close with the hairstylist, and the hairstylist was kind of like her like savior this entire time. And so she's like, oh, like they're ordering food, like do you want anything? She's like, oh sure, like I'll have a chicken salad. And they put the order in, and then they get a call being like, hey, like you're not on our budget, so like you have to get your own chicken salad. Like what? You can't get your friend a chicken salad? Hello? When I was working at Raising Cane's making $12 an hour, I would buy my friends food all the time. That's weird. Ice makes so much money. Like how are you not going to buy your friend a chicken salad? Like you're evil. You're disgusting, and you smell. So that was like like she was like, what the hell? So like whatever, she like bought her own chicken salad, like okay. And then so like fast forward like a day later or whatever, she's like, oh, what are we doing today, whatever. She's like, I don't know. Basically what happened was her and the hairstylist were like, oh, like we're really hungry, like are we gonna get food? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get food later. So I think she went and took a nap. And then she wakes up from the nap, and she's like, okay, like, are we going to get food? I'm really hungry. She's talking to like some of the other people, and they're like, oh, we already ate. And she's like, oh, like, what do you mean? They're like, oh yeah, we went to a steakhouse. We all went to a steakhouse without you guys. But like, don't tell Ice Spice, because like she wants it to be a secret. Like we weren't supposed to tell you. Huh? Just like what? Everything. And there's so much more to it. Like it's like I said, it's a 7-part story time, but like so much more. It's just like I never supported Ice Spice in the first place, but like after hearing this story with Cleopatra, I'm just like, this girl is a horrible person. Like absolutely horrible person. Like she has zero regard for other people, and like literally thinks the world revolves around her, and she's like this like big macho fucking like, yeah, you know, like no, you're not. You are literally nothing. Like I don't care how much fame and success she got. I feel like I used to see her interviews against my will. Always, everything I've ever learned about Ice Spice has literally been against my will. Like I do not care about this girl. But like I would see her interviews when she like first started getting famous. She seemed so sweet, so nice. And now she thinks she's all that. And like the fame literally changed her. Or maybe it's the Ozempic. Like maybe it's because she's on Ozempic and she's not eating and she's just fucking hangry all the time. Like I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is that what she did to Cleopatra and the way she treated her for this entire tour was like, I personally would like never, I don't know. Literally, if I ever see someone, that's why I posted that TikTok where I was like, if I ever see somebody at an Ice Spice concert, I'm sending you hate comments. Like, that girl does not deserve to be supported by any fans. Like, she doesn't deserve her platform at all. And like what she did with Mads, like that was so, it was already not okay. But then the caption of her Instagram or whatever, like she just seems like such a weird bitch. You know what I mean? I hate girls like that. Like, just be a nice person. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I buy homeless people chicken salads. You can't buy your friend a chicken salad? Like, hello? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Seriously, I will never understand some of these people. Like, especially when you have so much wealth to share. Like, I'm sure she makes a shit ton of money and you can't buy a chicken salad. But like everybody else gets a chicken salad. And it's so stupid because like a chicken salad, but like it's the principle. Like everyone else gets a chicken salad except for Cleopatra. Why? And then she like posted the screenshots of the text. Oh my God. She tried to so respectfully. Sorry, I like have to keep reapplying because last time my lip gloss started crusting up. She tried to respectfully message Ice Spice and be like, hey, like, I just wanted to let you know how I feel about like this entire situation. Like, you know, I just kind of felt like an outcast and I just felt like this and that. And she didn't say anything mean. She was just like, girl, like that kind of wasn't okay. Like you treated me really poorly. Like maybe looking for an apology. I'm sorry. This is why I treated you like that. Maybe an explanation. She literally was like, you're a bum. You're a fucking broke ass bum. And you're needy. Like you're too needy and you're too much of a bum. Like you thought you were all that. Like she's being so rude. And I'm just like, this girl is trash. So from now on, we support Cleopatra. We do not support. I feel like we already didn't support Ice Spice, but like definitely like the line has been drawn. That girl is possessed by the devil. You cannot convince me otherwise. Like you can't. You can't. Okay, this one's a little long, but we're going to read it. Ooh, it's from a burner email. Worm pup. I like that. I love worms. Okay. Letter to Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. I would be super grateful if you gave me advice on this guy. Let's call him Sam. So we started talking a couple months ago because he thought that I was funny and pretty. And we just started talking for a bit. Then things happen and I get sent to rehab hospital. But I tell him that I'm going beforehand and he's really chill with it because his mom went through the same issues as me. Even so chill that he wants to visit me and stuff while I'm there, which I say no. But I was like, aw, because he offered. He offered. While I'm there, we call every day and I use up all my phone time to talk to him instead of my parents. We even text on the computers that they had there, which I wasn't allowed to do, but I would get in trouble a lot. But I didn't care because I wanted to talk to him. We would use school email chat. This detail is important. Our relationship is super sweet. We're not dating yet, but he tells other people that I'm talking to him. So far, there's all green flags, and I can't think of anything that was bad except that he had friends that were girls, which I didn't care about. But my friend would send me snaps of him talking to them. I think to make me mad, but I didn't care. He knew about this and would get mad at my friend. By the way, they're friends too. And I met him through her. Okay, so whatever. We're talking and stuff. I'm still in the hospital. And I get a pass to leave for one day. So the day rolls around that I get to leave and I text him. Doesn't reply at all. Next day, he still doesn't talk to me. I was like, what the F? Then, like 5 days later, we're still not talking. And so I told my therapist that he ghosted me and she tells me to block him on everything. Love your therapist for that. So I do. Then one day I get a message from him on school email chat saying that his phone got taken away. So I was like, shit. Then I texted him from Google Chats when I leave the place and I tell him I just left the place for good. And he says, wait, actually? And I said, yeah, I got discharged yesterday. And then he leaves me on red. What the hell? There has to be another girl. Um, okay. Then I come to school and he texts me on Google Chat asking if I'm at school, and I say yes. He asked if we're good and I say no because he would leave me on red, and he actually made me think that he cared about me, and I told him how I felt and he said I'm sorry but things don't go back to normal. We're texting a little bit, I guess, and I was asking him if he's going to this fair thing at my school, and he says yes. I say me too, and then I don't think we talk after that. I go to the fair and I see him with another girl. But what am I supposed to say? We aren't even dating and barely talking, so I just stopped texting him. Then I go to my friend's house for a sleepover, this same friend that would snap me pictures of him with the other girls. Um, she goes on to tell me that Sam and her boyfriend got into an argument and that Sam was saying bad stuff about her to her boyfriend, basically saying, do you know how many guys DICKs she's sucked and stuff like that? Ugh. So I was like, damn, but I still secretly liked him after all that. But my friend was upset about what he did, so I texted him as a joke saying, you don't want to catch this fade. And he was like, what? And I was like, why did you say that stuff about her? And he was basically saying, don't get into our business and shit like that. So then we pulled up to his house. It was super awkward, and my friend and him are the only people talking, and I'm just kind of there because I didn't know what the F to say. After that, we don't text at all, and it's like nothing ever happened, and I forgot about him for a while. One day, me and my friend go Instagram Live, and he joins it. By the way, at the time, he was following me, and I didn't follow him back, so I thought it would be funny to just follow him on Instagram. Then I literally see him post a girl on his story with hearts. So I was like, what the fuck? Why would you add me if he has a girlfriend? So I was really sad because he had a girlfriend, and I decided to leave him alone. Literally all his friends added me on Snapchat. I don't know what it means because they will send snaps of him, or whenever they're together, they'll both snap me. So I don't know what's going on, but it's literally so weird because he likes my post and he still snaps me. I don't know what to do because I don't know if they're together now. I hope not because I still miss him so much, even though we never dated. I don't know what's wrong with me. I always get attached to people and it's really annoying. I posted a story in a bikini and his friends DM'd me and was like, hey, with hard eyes. His friend is cute, but he's not really my type and he's short as fuck. He asked me if I smoked, and I do sometimes. Should I make him jealous by smoking with his friend? I don't know. What do I do? Should I leave him alone because there's a possibility he has a girlfriend? Please help. 1,000% leave this man alone. Like, you don't want him. He's horrible. He's trash. And he's clearly talking to other people and like playing mind games with you. And like, he has no real feelings for you because if he did, he wouldn't be doing this to you. I say just like, if you want to smoke with a friend because like you genuinely want to, you should. You should just like not think about this guy at all. Like literally delete from your memory. Like as if you never knew him and you never met him and he's just like a random homeless man on the street like begging for money. Like think of him as somebody that's like so disgusting that you're just like, ew, I would never want to be with, like, you know. And then just live your life. Talk to other guys, have fun, like go smoke with other people if you want to, like date another guy, date multiple guys, like just literally do whatever makes you happy and like whatever takes your mind off of this rat. Yeah, he's trash. Like you don't even want to be with somebody like that. Ew. But anyways, thank you. So that's the last story I'm going to read today. Thank you so much for listening again. And you know, I love you so much. We need to restore faith in girlhood. Like we need to ask, like, it's hard to even say this because like there's still going to be girls that like help boys cheat no matter what, but like they do not deserve help in cheating. I'm talking to you, whatever her name was that I was reading that story about. See, I already like forgot the decoy name because she's forgettable. But like let's not, you know? And let's do research before we get into relationships with people. I feel like a lot of the times like we forget to do all the research and all the digging. And like, if you're with a guy and you think he's cheating on you, buy that hidden camera. Like literally they sell them on Amazon. Like they're actually so easy to get a hold of. Like don't tell them that I told you, but like, yeah. And like if creepy men could put hidden cameras in Airbnbs for like disgusting reasons, don't even feel bad for putting a hidden camera in a guy's room if you're like trying to figure out if he's cheating on you. Like at least you're not being creepy. At least girls use hidden cameras for a good cause. But anyways, I love you so much and thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next Tuesday.